Hello and welcome to Threefold Herbal Healing. I'm Herbalist Liosode. I help people who struggle with chronic conditions grow their health from the roots up. Today, I wanted to talk about polysaccharides in herbal medicine. So most time when you hear about polysaccharides, you hear about them in their role in nutrition. Today, I will speak about polysaccharides as herbal medicine. Not sure what I mean? Let's dive right in. When we take plants into our bodies, they are broken down in a series of chemical processes that modify them, altering their potency at each step. The goal of this process is to buffer toxicity and improve absorption and elimination. Oftentimes, it is at the beginning of this chemical cascade that herbs release their healing compounds. In nutrition, we study macronutrients, carbohydrates, protein, and fat, as well as micronutrients, minerals, and vitamins. Plants, however, contain thousands of compounds, many of which are unknown and unexplored. The extraction method we use and the way we administer the herb influences the modification process and the bioavailability of the compounds and the potency of the medicine. So the modification process, I'm talking about how we use the herbs, how we administer it, affect this cascade of breakdown. It's also affect how the body can utilize it, if the body can utilize it at all, and the potency the remedy will have. So let's talk a little bit about what are polysaccharides. What are we talking about? The name implies polysaccharide are made of poly, meaning many, more than 10 saccharides, more than 10 sugar molecule. Each sugar molecule, monosaccharide, one sugar molecule, is made out of one carbon atom, one oxygen atom, and two hydrogen atoms. Therefore, the name carbon hydrates. Carbon combined with water, H2O. Polysaccharides are made from long chains of sugars and are three-dimensional and very complex structures. So while monosaccharides and disaccharides are linear, those are really complex three-dimension compounds. Different types of polysaccharides provide different health benefits. The most common polysaccharides are starch, cellulose, and inulin. So let's talk a little bit about bioavailability, what it is, and how it affects how polysaccharide would work in your body. So it is important to understand really the concept of bioavailability, because when we talk about their health benefit, we need to understand how they work in the body. So bioavailability is the extent to which an active ingredient or nutrient reaches the systemic circulation, is absorbed in the body, reach the blood, and exert its effect. Or in other words, when you consume polysaccharides, how much can the body utilize their benefits? If you ever mixed a spoonful of sugar into your cup of tea or your cup of coffee, you know that sugar dissolves well in water. Between 60 to 70% of your body is water. Therefore, any compounds that dissolve in water will be carried in the body very well. It will have a very high bioavailability. Polysaccharides, however, are very large sugar molecules that contain thousands of sugar, which theoretically should be very bioavailable for the body. But because they can be absorbed through the small intestines, they are too large, so they can't pass into the blood at all. They basically don't reach the blood and cannot be dissolved. A good example is astragalus. In China, it is used in IV therapy for its rapid effect on kidney inflammation. However, if you ingest astragalus in tea or in tincture, you will not get the result that you get through the IV. You don't get the same effect on your kidneys. However, that doesn't mean that astragalus is ineffective. Large polysaccharide molecules can be exposed to the lymphatic system in the GI tract and exert direct effect on the immune system. Different way to administer change the bioavailability of the compounds. So now let's talk about the different types of polysaccharide. We are talking starch, cellulose, and inulin. Let's start with starch. Starch is the most common molecule in plants and is the main way plants store energy. Digestible starch come in two forms: amyloids, those are linear change of glucose, and amyloidpectin, branch change of glucose. So those look more like tree. Resistant starch, however, resists digestion by pancreatic amylase. That means that it doesn't break down in the small intestines and it reaches the colon intact, doesn't break down at all. In the colon, gut bacteria can feast on it, like gut bacteria really love starch. And we will talk in a moment, what does that do to your body? All these gut bacteria feasting on your starch. Cellulose. The name cellulose hints at the compound function in plants. It is the building block of plants' cells. Humans can digest cellulose, but ruminating animals like cows and goats and some strains of gut bacteria can ferment cellulose. Cellulose is insoluble fiber. That means that it does not dissolve in water and create like a gel-like compound. Instead, it can hold several times of its weight in water, creating bulk. Think about a sponge attracting water and holding all the water in it. That makes cellulose a mild laxative. It creates this bulk that push down and help initiate bowel movement. But promoting physical and mechanical stimulation in the colon can also cause cramps and irritated colon because you have all this bulk there. So, it's all about the dosage, how much of cellulose you have there. Most of the cellulose is fermented by gut bacteria and produce short-chain fatty acid. Now, when we talk about those benefits of cellulose, we will talk a lot about short-chain fatty acid because we really depend on them for our well-being. They are really important for immune modulation. And the last compound that we are going to talk about as a polysaccharide is inulin. Inulin is a plant energy reserve, and it's composed of repeated fructose unit. Although inulin is not digested by human being, it is highly beneficial. It is soluble in hot water, which means that it will form a gel-like compound and act like a mild laxative that provides bulk without irritating the colon walls. Most of the inulin we ingest is fermented by gut bacteria and end up forming short-chain fatty acids again. Plants in the Astarchaea family are known to be rich in inulin, so we are talking about burdock, echinacea, elecampane, dandelion, and of course astragalus. But astragalus is not an Astarchaea; it's a Fabaceae. It's the same family as beans, to be honest. So let's talk about the health benefit of polysaccharides. Polysaccharides plays a crucial role in the immune system, specifically in the branch of the immune system housed in the lymphatic system and in the gut and digestive health. So let's take a brief look at the lymphatic system and its connection to the immune system. I like to talk about the lymphatic system as the garbage truck and the police squad of the body. For our conversation, the role of the lymphatic system as police squad is more important. So I will just say that the lymphatic system is the cleaning crew of the body. That's an important role. But for what we're talking now, let's talk about the lymphatic system as the police squad of the body. It is the house and center of maturation of many white blood cells, specifically lymphocytes, which are essential for the body immune response, such as macrophage, B cells, and T cells. Macrophages are part of the innate immune system, which means that they act quickly, they respond very fast to any invasion of pathogen, any strangers in the body, but are not very specific. They can recognize and gobble up foreign protein at a glance, but they are not very sophisticated. B and T cells, on the other hand, are much more advanced. It takes them longer to react because they research the specific pathogen and mount a response to match it. Think about them like a key and a matching lock. Their other superpower is their long memory. They are like a scorned women. They never forget a pathogen who try to invade the body. It's like, for example, chicken pox, where you know, your immune system remember it, and you never ever going to have chicken pox twice in your life. So why does that important? To optimize nutrient absorption in the small intestine, the lining is a single layer epithelial cell. So the lining between the lumen, where partly digested food, nutrients, but also pathogens, waste product, dead cell flow inside your small intestines, and your blood system and your lymphatic system, the lining there, the skin there, has only single layer of cells. Half-digested food, bacteria and viruses that enter the body with the food, along with other waste products, can easily leak from the gut lumen through the single layer of epithelial cell into the body, increasing toxicity and causing inflammation. To protect the body from the effect of potential leakage, the body concentrated a large number of lymphatic vessels in the gut. Remember, we have all these police cruisers out there. It is as if the body is saying, this is a troubled neighborhood with a lot of garbage and a lot of punks, we need to be careful here. I'd rather have more garbage truck and more police cruisers circling that street. Large polysaccharides molecules cannot be absorbed in the body, in the gut. They don't go into the blood. However, when they interact with the highly concentrated immune cells in the lymphatic vessels, they profoundly affect the immunity. So those polysaccharide, we are talking Bardock, Echinacea, Astragalus, that's how they work in the body, by connecting, interacting with immune cells, lymphatic system in the gut. That is one way. The other way is through the gut bacteria. Polysaccharides are very long and very complex molecules that our body cannot break down and digest. Our gut bacteria, though, love them. They love to feast on them. When those critters gobble up fiber, starch, inulin, and beta-glucan from herbs like burdock, astragalus, and reishi. Beta-glucan come from reishi. So it's also the medicinal mushrooms that have a lot of polysaccharides. They produce short-chain fatty acids that have been shown to modulate the immune system and reduce inflammation. The colon is the main site where gut bacteria ferment for polysaccharides. It is also the place where all the toxins from the liver, detox processes, bile, cholesterols, and other waste products are collected and where the stool is formed. The integrity of the colon's epithelial walls is essential. Without it, toxins can leak back into the blood, leading to a cascade of systemic reactions, including systemic inflammation, metabolic condition, insulin resistance, weight gain, liver inflammation, and even brain inflammation, leading to depression, anxiety, brain fog, neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer, and chronic fatigue. While most gut bacteria reside in the colon, a small number live in the small intestines, especially in the lower part that leads to the colon, where they help maintain the integrity of the small intestine lining. Butyrate is the most common fatty acid produced by fermentation of polysaccharides, and it modulates the immune system. It is associated with reducing inflammation that is measured by lower interleukin-6 and tumor and necrosis factor alpha levels. And by reducing inflammation, butyrate increases the integrity of the epithelial cells in the colon. So the butyrate that is made by gut bacteria after they ferment those polysaccharides act in two ways. It reduces systemic inflammation in the body, but it also promotes the integrity of the colon epithelial cell, and that means that toxin cannot leak back into the body. Other ways through which butyrate support healthy colon are through generating energy that the colon cells can use to optimize their function, and by promoting mucus production in the colon that protect the cells from wear and tear and acts as an immune barrier. The overall effect of butyrate is to protect the integrity of the colon epithelial lining and reduce inflammation, which carries a systemic immune modulating effect. So there was this doctor named Dennis Burkett that did a huge research. He was in Africa and he observed the diet in Africa and compared it to the Western diet, which is typically low in fiber. And he found that it increases the risk of congenital heart disease, atherosclerosis, obesity, diabetes, dental issue, gum disease, large bowel condition like IBS, and cancer, appendicitis, and diverticulitis. So, our ancestor, the hunter-gatherers, from the studies we made, we find that they ate about 150 grams of fiber every day. In 1900, just merely 125 years ago, the average fiber intake in the United States was about 40 to 50 grams a day. So that's about a third of what our ancestors ate just merely 10,000 years ago. Some population actually ate more than 50 grams, but those were more people in rural places that grew their own foods and were not part of the Western modern diet. But today, the average American eat between 15 to 17 grams of fiber every day, which is like 10% of what the hunter-gatherer did. And like a third of what our fathers ate. So to conclude that, what are the chances? We are inviting to our body all those degenerative disease for our brain, cancer, diverculitis, IBS, all those digestive issue that happens in the gut, and the immune system, the autoimmune condition, just by not eating enough polysaccharide and not using enough herbs rich in polysaccharides. So some of the herbs that are important to utilize as immune support that are rich in polysaccharides are astragalus, the mushroom, especially reishi, and echinacea. Other roots have fiber too. Marshmallow, elecampane, burdock are all rich with inulin and can be used too, but also eat a lot of tubers. That is me for today, feeling overwhelmed. I know it was a lot. Biochemistry, herbalism, nutrition, it all comes together to create a healthy person. There is no magic wand. If you need help, if you need me, I'm there to help. You can find me in www.threefoldherbalhealing.com. I will leave a link in the comment, but just know that I offer 15 minutes herbal consultation that is free for you to see if I can help you. Thank you for listening so far, and I hope you learned something. I hope it was interesting. Have a good day.